Questions. To help us define question, let us first define what is a statement. A statement is a sentence that tells you something, and a sentence does not require an answer. How about a question? A question is a sentence that asks you something, and it requires an answer. A question always ends with a question mark. How do we form sentence in questions? We have the auxiliary verb plus the subject and plus the main verb. An example is, do you like Mary? Do is an auxiliary verb, while the subject in this sentence is you. Like is the main verb, and Mary is an additional information. And it ends with a question mark. Another example, are they playing football? Are is an auxiliary verb, they is the subject, playing is the main verb, while football is an additional information for the sentence. And it ends with a question mark. An exemption for the rule is for main verb be. In present simple and past simple, there is no auxiliary verb. Let's have an example. Am I wrong? Are they thigh? With these two examples, we can see that the main verb be, and are the beginning parts of the sentence. And the subjects are I and they. There is no auxiliary verb such as can or do. For yes and no questions, which are answerable by yes and no, we still have an auxiliary verb. Let's find out. The auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb are the structures to form these questions. We have, do you want dinner and can you drive? These are all answerable by yes or no. We have the auxiliary verbs do and can, the subjects you, and the main verbs want and drive. Both of these sentences ends with a question mark. But again, with the main verb be, you don't need or we don't need an auxiliary verb. Let's have these examples. Is Anne French? Yes or no? Was Ram at home? Yes or no? With this, we have only the main verbs is and was, and the subjects Anne and Ram. Additional information are included, such as French and at home. Again, these two sentences ends with a question mark. For question word questions, when asking for information, we usually place a question word at the beginning of the sentence. The question word indicates the information that we want. For example, where pertains to place, when pertains to time, why pertains to reason, and who pertains to a person. What is the structure of this kind of sentences? We have an additional question word or where and when, and the auxiliary verb, subject plus the main verb. Here are some examples. Where do you live? When will we have lunch? These questions starts with the question words, then followed by the auxiliary verb. We have do and will, and the subject plus the main verb. And again, both of these sentences ends with a question mark. An exemption for the rule is the main verb be. Again, both in present simple and past simple. Example, where is Bombay? And how was she? We have the question words where and how. And still, we have the main verbs and the subject. There is no auxiliary verb. So that's it when it comes with questions.